When you finally leave your abusive relationship, you'll find yourself going through withdrawals. Depending on how long you've been in the abusive relationship, I was in it for years, almost 10 years. And it changed up my whole view on life. I got used to the abuse. I got used to the insults. I got used to it because I thought that was love. It is very hard to shake. But in time, your mind and what you're used to will heal itself, just like the body does. But you will only heal if you do the inner work, if you get the therapy, if you take your time and be kind to yourself. You will eventually find peace, a peace of mind, happiness, and joy will eventually come back into your life. But abuse is something that is something you'll never forget. You will remember what you will be willing to put up with and what you're not going to put up with. When you come out of an abusive relationship, you'll look back and you'll eventually say, damn, what was I thinking? I allowed this person to mold me and shape me into someone I never dreamed that I would become. You would think a man like me would not allow a woman to do these things. But it happens, especially if you haven't done any inner work. Maybe in the past, a person has been abused when they were a kid. And if you don't do the work, if you don't do the therapy, you will attract a person that can harm you. So these are the side effects of when you finally break away from an abusive relationship. You'll find comfort in standing up for yourself. And eventually, you'll look in the mirror and go, I'm proud of that person because I stood up to a tyrant. I stood up to a manipulator, an abuser. And when you get the guts to actually step forward, to actually experience what's on the other side of abuse, which is the opposite, peace, love, self-love, you'll never want to go back to the bullshit. You will start to recognize the abuse signs in other people, maybe your friends or coworkers. You'll start to pick up on people that are victims. You'll start seeing certain things in the victims or what have you. And then you'll also see the perpetrators for what they are and for who they are. You'll recognize it quick, fast, in a hurry. The narcissist, the abuser, or you'll find out later on that they've created flying monkeys. What is flying monkeys? People who do their bidding. You'll find out certain family members, they've turned against you. And the family members have believed their narrative. And this is all behind your back. And again, this is a part, this is in the interim of you healing, right? Once you leave the relationship, your eyes start to open up. In other words, your senses start to magnify. You will no longer be the person you were before you were in an abusive relationship. In other words, you it's like a superpower. Once you've been abused for a certain amount of time, no one can take that from you. In other words, you'll be able to detect the bullshit in people. You'll be able to see, okay, that's an abuser right there. Okay, that's abuse. That's psychological abuse. Oh, wait, hold on. This person is afraid of this person versus a regular person that's never probably experienced it unless they're a therapist. They're not going to be able to recognize that. They're going to be green just like you were before you were in an abusive relationship. This is Mike Chevalier, keeping it simple and precise.